So, oh. I think we're live. Are we live?
It's the same power to weight ratio as a Ferrari 488. Where's mine?
It's Chiro Champion signing off. You've been tuned in to Wednesday, the beginning of March. It's springtime and Sam's having a day from hell.
I'm not having a great day. I shan't lie. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm having a good day. It's not great. I broke down. Yes, I know this is a petrol can and I'm putting diesel in it. So everyone's going to say, no, you haven't broke down their diesel.
Who bought you diesel?
My friend Steve. So this lovely man here.
Hello, Steve.
Come to save me in his recovery truck. And yeah, I run out of diesel. So, you know, you've got to understand when you have 150 cars like I do, you can't put fuel. And now the safety device is locking me out. So I've got to use a screwdriver to get in, which I don't think is the right device. But yeah, and then I'm putting some diesel in, which is great. So I'm having a fantastic start to the day, Chiro. How's your day going?
Yeah, no, we had a good day. We filmed a vlog today. We picked up my 92 SL 300 Mercedes,
Love
which
it.
just had full bare metal respray for the third time. And we were out bouncing around in an SVR Range Rover, and we went to EBC Brakes, who we had a member bringing a C6 for measuring up, and we had fun doing car stuff.
Car stuff. Well, I've been selling shit boxes. That's what I do. I'm really good at selling the old boxes of dicks. But yeah, and now I've run out of diesel, and we've got a water leak at my house, and it's about to rain, and I've had a summer house installed that hasn't got a roof fitted yet. So overall, the day's going fantastic. Where's my lid? I've lost my lid from the fuel can.
So when you said to me you broken down, you had in fact run out of fuel.
Yeah, well, I had lots of warning lights, so it could have been a problem with the actual vehicle. Yeah, you better make sure it starts before you leave, otherwise I might have to use your recovery skills.
Diesel.
But
Here we go.
Let's see if it starts. If it starts, I'm going to be very, very elated.
So was Steve an AA man in a former life?
Steve is a recovery man who is amazing. He's my next door neighbour. He's the only man that's got me got me through COVID, to be honest with you.
So we've had a lot of this, with this live show, because 5 o'clock rolls up. We're all ready for
Steve! Bye, Steve! I'm a-running.
So, yeah, as I say, we've had a lot of this because I got stuck at Rushton Graphics one afternoon with the police blocking the entrance.
You did?
And then I drove all the way home during the whole chat. And another time I got stuck somewhere else. And now you've run out of fuel and you're on your way home to sort out this issue.
That's it. So I'm good. Feeling great.
So let's talk about today's show. Who have we got on? Because you've organised a couple of awesome guests.
So today is my turn for guests, which I'm actually really excited about, as you can imagine. We got Jesse Gonzales from Juarez in Mexico. Most people know that Juarez in Mexico is known for murder and death and negativity. But I'm telling you, Mr. Jesse Gonzales is one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life. And he owns a shop called Street Toys in Juarez. And I've been there several times. I put my hands to work a couple of times and helped finish off a couple of cars. In no way, shape or form have I built any cars with Jesse Gonzales, but he is an amazing hot rod and rat rod builder, and he does prestige restorations for muscle cars.
Wow. So it's kind of like taking what we know from our friends in America and going over to Mexico. And he's got the best body shop, the best.
I think he's probably got
Mexico?
the best. 100%. I can imagine. I think he's got the best American car garage or the best restoration shop in Mexico, in my opinion.
Wicked. Well, we had an amazing time last week with our guests. So much cool chat, and I was proper buzzing when we got off the call last week. Brilliant insight to speaking to Mike, as well as having a look around VF Engineering, and I'm buzzing for today, mate.
But honestly, I left that phone call with I had butterflies in my chest after speaking to Mike Musto. To basically speak to someone that we don't know each other at all, and he say that he loved my car and it was one of his favourite cars, a SEMA. That is what this shit is about. This is what the growl and the hard work and everything's about is getting the appreciation from people that you don't even know. That's the love,
No, absolutely. And it's funny with this whole thing we're doing, like some weeks we get more viewers, some weeks it's lower, some people watch it afterwards, after it's run, etc. It's just cool to bring different people on. And I think looking forward, we've just got more and more big names that are in social media for the car automotive industry, as well as, in different ways, because we've got popbangcolour.
Yeah, so we've got popbangcolour. Ian, I've known this guy for years. He's a good friend of Nick Williams, who we had on the show.
Yeah.
And he is just an amazing artist. And he uses remote control cars and toy cars in different ways. And he uses the wheels to design art pieces. And, Nankang tires. I think EBC brakes has even got some artwork for them. But, he is just an amazing, amazing human being. He's got a lovely wife, and he's just done some amazing stuff that I just can't get over how important he is to the British culture. Really, really excited about bringing him on here and actually being able to sort of show the world, my views on him and what I think of his hard work,
No, cool. Well, I'm here to enjoy this week. I've not been involved in organising the guests. You've done all the hard work this week, on top of breaking down and everything else you've done today.
I didn't charge anything extra for breaking down.
but he got you out of that very quickly, mate. Old Steve did.
Oh, mate, he's my next door neighbour. But I got back to my house. I sorted the water leak out. I failed in making food for my wife and kids because she phoned me and my phone said it was 15:15. So I phoned her and said, "Babe, I'm going to come home an hour early and I'm going to cook you and the kids dinner." She was like, "That's amazing. Are you sure you're going to have time?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to have loads of time. Don't you worry about that." And I got home and I was like, "Fucking hell, it's 4:30." And it was already time to go. And she's like, "You might as well just go back to work." So I jumped in my Ranger, sorted out the water leak, drove down the road and broke down. I would have been in my nice warm air conditioned office by now.
You didn't break down. Let's get it right. You ran out of fuel. You were a man. You thought you could push it all the way. It's been warning you all afternoon, and you got caught out.
Back off, me and Jay Cannon, right? We're still going to kick your ass, even if we do run out of fuel.
Do you know what? That frame right there with the camera just through the steering wheel, your whole face is in there. Perfect framing. Well done. I actually
Loving that.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Well done. So who have we got coming in first? We've got
we got Jesse Gonzales first. Ian's ready. Oh shit.
Isn't Ian at 5:40?
Ian's supposed to be at 5:45. Craig.
Just
oh well.
to our producer Craig, who's in our ears right now. There's a lot goes on behind the scenes on this to get things right, but we've got Ian. Hello, Ian.
Where's Ian? Hello, Ian.
He's just connected to audio. There he is.
There we are.
Ah, there we are.
Hello, Ian.
Where are you?
I've converted the back of my car into a mobile studio.
Wicked.
Love it.
So yeah, so I've stripped out the back, I've stripped out the rear seats, so that the car is my mobile studio. So when events do happen, I can create live in the back, and people can walk because the rear doors, the boot open. So yeah, so it's basically gonna, this is the plan for the rest of the year is to continue creating in the back of the car.
Love it.
What car is it? Because I can't tell from that angle.
Oh, it's a terrible car. It's a Chevrolet Spark, and it's the only car I had. Like it's the car I had. Like,
hey, it's what Sam sells every day.
Every day.
So it was just the car I've had since new. It was a former press car, and so we stripped it, did it for an event last year. And then since then, I've been using it as my work from home vehicle. So my wife works in the house and I work in the car. So
awesome, man. Awesome. So Sam, popbangcolour, you've told me a lot about this. You guys know each other for a little while?
Yeah, so I think I met him in 2016, 2017 at the Portsmouth Gunwharf Supercar event. And he was just there on his hands and knees grafting, and it was amazing to see what he started with and what he ended with. Blew my mind. And he does these amazing designs with cars, remote control cars, and people at home think, "What do you mean you do with toy cars and stuff?" But
I was like that a week ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I normally do. Yeah, so I paint with radio control cars, and that was that. I think Sam had brought down his rat rod type thing down to Portsmouth, and you kind of heard it from miles away before it arrived. And yeah, so no, that's what I normally do. Is I paint with cars. I have done for 15 years. Done for various brands, manufacturers. Do a lot of PR stuff. Until March of last year, and then obviously when there's no car events and you can't go anywhere, I can't be in my studio. My studio's in lockdown, so that's where the continuous car project, which has been drawing people's cars live on IGTV on Instagram, engaging with the car community, and creating people's prides and passions and getting their stories behind them has been great. It's been what I've been doing for the last year. So we're now up to 850 drawings.
Wow. Well done. Congratulations to Diversify, man.
Including me.
It's been tough for a lot of people.
Absolutely. That was a highlight, Sam. It was a highlight. It was I peaked.
Oh.
I peaked when I did yours.
But how did you just get started 15 years?
Sorry.
No, go on.
Guys, just to clarify, the hot rods that he's talking about were actually built by Jesse Gonzales, who are our other guests who we'll bring in just a minute. Sorry, when someone phones you, and you're trying to concentrate on a very important Zoom meeting. But yeah, so he go to his website and check out his stuff. He does a lot of cars, he does t-shirts, he does cups, he does everything with all these designs on. So if you love Dodges or you love Minis, or he has covered all bases. So that is, I just want to get that out there. But let's go back over to Ian. So where did all this start? Sorry to jump in on your question.
So we're watching the video at the moment, and you're drawing out a Michelin Man. It's showing you doing your work and all the different things automotive things that you use to create your artwork, and it looks amazing.
Yes, that was Michelin 2019. So that was Goodwood, where I was commissioned by Michelin to paint artworks for the whole event. So I was there for the whole week, creating 4 artworks in total. No, five artworks. And they came and did a prelim promo piece. So that was a bit in my studio, creating the updated Michelin, or Bibendium, as he is known, because that is the Michelin man is Bibendium. So that was done for Goodwood, but it started 20. So I've got an art degree, so I did fine art painting, and then that was 2001 to 2004. I graduated. I got a first class honours. Like I did the best I could at uni, and then that was down in Winchester, down in Hampshire, and then I was like, oh great, I'm an artist now. And my parents were like, well, get a job. That's great, but you need a job. So I worked in bars for a while. I did bar work, did nightclub work. But doing that, I met a lot of DJs, and the DJs wanted to have photographs of them behind the decks, because at that time there was no Instagram, there was no social media. It was like they couldn't photograph themselves at the deck. So I took photos of DJs. And one of them used my imagery as a album cover, which was really cool, because I went to like HMV and bought the album with my artwork on it, like my image.
Wow.
And my boss then was like, Ian, why do you want to work in bars when that is clearly your passion? Like, that's your thing. So I left bar work. I then went and taught. So I was a teacher. I went back and did art teaching, which meant I could do my artwork at the same time, and use the materials and use the space at the college I was working at to work. So in 2006, 2007, I was given a radio control car as a Christmas present. I was told, don't take it down your studio and don't get paint on it. So I thought that's a good idea. So I had Lightning McQueen from the film Cars. That was what I got as a radio control car. And I had other cars anyway, so I didn't paint with that one, but I painted with my other the other radio control cars I had. Started to work out how do you paint with a car? Do you put it on the wheels? Do you attach a paint pot to the top of it? How do you actually paint with a car? So that was 6, 7. I then started to experiment. I did colour wheels. I did Pudsey Bear, which is in the UK is a very well-known charity. And then for those for children in need. I then painted a Honda Civic Type R for Auto Express magazine, a side profile, which was then put as a feature in a magazine, and it was done as a video piece as well. And it kind of went from there, really. And then I started to go to events, and I was ringing up all the events going, you want me at the event? You want me at the event? I rang Goodwood, which at that time I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what the Festival of Speed was. Rang them up and said, you want me at the show? And they're like, okay, well, how much do you cost? And I was like, oh, you're gonna pay me? Okay, all right, okay, cool. This is interesting. And at that point, I just painted a portrait of Lord Montague, who was the founder of Bewley Motor Museum. So Bewley down in Hampshire. I painted a portrait of him. So I sent the portrait of him to Goodwood, and they were like, right, as long as you paint a portrait of then known as Lord March, you can be at the event, and we'll put a marquee up and do everything. I was like, brilliant. I arrived and it blew me away, that event. 2008 was, compared to what it is now, it's a small event compared to what it is now. But I arrived and I was like, oh my God, like this is mad. And I started painting, and that year they had dragsters, and the dragsters fired up twice a day. So once in the morning, once in the afternoon, they fired up. And it meant that people kind of heard the noise and they ran to it. Like they literally ran across Goodwood to hear the dragsters fire up. And then they found themselves in one area of Goodwood they'd not been to, like, because they're not normally there or whatever. And from that, it turns out MC Saatchi, the advertising agency, so Morris and Charles Saatchi, obviously Charles Saatchi world-renowned art collector, but also responsible for some of the possibly, like the most famous adverts in the world. So we're talking like, the old silk cut advert with the silk, kind of with a slit in it.
Yeah.
That was a Saatchi advert. So I was rang up the following week by one of the researchers or something, and they said, "Look, how big can you paint?" And I said, "Well, how big do you want it?" Like I was like, "I don't know. Like, you tell me."
Yeah.
At this point, I was doing 2.5 meter, 1.5-meter sized artworks, so it's still pretty big for a house. Like, if you get a 2.5-meter artwork in a house, it's big. So this then went down the line a little bit. It went on for, because they're like, "Oh, we're pitching it in. We're kind of, it's part of 4-6 ideas," and then it was whittled down to they kept ringing me, and I literally thought it was a joke. I generally thought, this is nothing. Like, this ain't gonna happen. Whatever. I'm a teacher. Whatever. And then they were like, "Right, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna." So it was painting a portrait of Lewis Hamilton, the size of a 3-story building next to and it was going to be displayed next to Tower Bridge. So there's a place called Pottersfield Park where they do all the PR stuff. And they revealed this 12-meter by 8-meter sized portrait of Lewis that I'd painted with radio control cars in a week. And that was a global project for Reebok. Reebok's most successful advertising campaign prior to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It was a global piece. So it went, CNN were there. We had American newspapers. We had, ITV, BBC, Sky News, all of them there. And it was surreal. So that was 2008. And then after the following week, I was back teaching, and I was like, I can't. Whatever that was, I want more of that. Whatever that is. I literally had the students going to me going, "Sir, weren't you on TV last week?" And I was like, Yep, it was weird. That happened. And weirdly, just before that, I'd already been in touch with like Blue Peter, and you want me on the show, because at that time Blue Peter was still a thing on BBC One. And randomly the following week after it, they rang me up and said, "Come and get your badge. Yeah, we want you on the show. Come and get your badge. We're going to present Lewis with a gold badge." And then since then, just worked really hard. Generally every year I've done some, a piece, something, with a brand, in normal time, in non-COVID times, when we could actually see people and meet people and socialize. That was a job. That was a job for 15 years, really. So
important for those people watching, that the younger ones that are watching in their teens, that are wondering what to do with life. You had a passion for art. You've got your degree. You've stuck at it, but the way you've made your own luck and you've made things happen, and now you're kind of following your dream with what you do. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. So, but it's a mixture of grafting. Because for me, I never know where my next paycheck's coming from. I'm always like, right, I'm chasing. I'm like, I've got an idea. I'm gonna talk to that person because I think they'll be interested. And now it's, it is so that, I didn't have Facebook and Twitter, and if I didn't have Instagram now, that's my business. How people see me and interact with me, it's pretty much through that. And brands get in touch because they've seen it, the interaction, and that's what they gauge. That's what they put a value to, is how many eyes are on your feed, how many. How are you presenting yourself? What are you doing? Are you doing videos, photos, live streams, all these things, which as an artist, I never, all those years ago when I was getting my degree, I never even thought that was going to be a thing.
No.
And it's always been ahead of the curve, always going, right, okay, how do I do that? Doing the mobile studio now, I'm right, I can do this. I can be at a social distance. I can do this at events. I can do this in supermarkets, shopping centers, dealerships. It's because it's a small car, I can actually get it into places. So if it was a big van, you'd be like, "Oh, I can't fit it in." Whereas this, I know I can get this car through the double doors of a supermarket without any problems.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so cool. That's so cool. And watching the videos, the VT playing as we're talking, it just showed the Reebok project, and that must have been absolutely like huge. Like you say, one week you're all over TV, news, everything. Then the next week you're back at being a teacher, but then you're just waiting for the next thing to happen. And as you say, each year there's just keep coming for you. So are you planning to be good with this year? Have they called you up?
This depends, because now, like, either I do it as popbangcolour, so either I do it as me, or I represent a brand and I do it. So if I'm with a brand, it's slightly different, because they'll have their own messaging, their own thing that they want me to talk about. Or Michelin, it was not easy, but Michelin, it was like I painted with their tires, I was in their branding and their gear. It was amazing. Like that 2019 was like, I'm so glad that year was clear of any problem. Like, it was just an amazing year of all the events that I did. And and I can look back at it and go, it was great. I did everything I wanted in that year, including getting married that year as well.
Wow.
It was a really good. But I think it's really important not to kind of be like, oh, I wish it was like that now. Like, I'm just like, right, whatever happens next, I'll be ready for it, and I'll prepare for it, and I'll do what I need to do to make it, as good as possible. We're not going to have those kind of big. I don't think we're going to have big events, or it's going to be kind of numbers, and it's going to be limited on numbers. However, I think that people are ready for events. Like, car guys and car folk are so passionate. They're ready to see people and catch up with people. So even if it's small events or limited numbers, I think they'll sell out quickly. I think, I imagine the future.
Yeah, we've got quite a few events running through Petrolheadonism, whether it's here at the Shamrock Hotel or our Find and site. We've got EBC breaks. I've got Nebworth booked for September, which is a massive scale event. And I think there's a massive appetite this year for people just wanting to get out. We've got so many events booking up tickets in the last few weeks since they've been released that, and with our audiences, one's for a modified crowd, one's for a Japanese crowd, one's for an Italian car crowd. And we just diversify it that way so that it keeps different audiences appealed to. But the way the tickets have been flying out of the Eventbrite, it's fantastic. And it does show that people just want to get out. As long as we can do it safely, we've put a caveat in all our events that there's a complete refund in the event of cancellation due to COVID. I think people are just raring to go and fill their calendars up, like you say.
And I think the thing is, like you say, about all these different scenes here, I'm involved with a thing called Club, which is it's modified car, but it's also a whole mix now. Because for me, it's like the cars is the theme, but actually it's the people that make it. Like, it's although the people that come in the cars is what makes us all want to be together and interact with each other. Yeah, we can talk about whatever we're doing with our vehicle or whatever we've done. I mean, I imagine over lockdown, there's been, I imagine, some amazing builds being done where people have just been able to like properly get cars ready for this season.
Well, sorry guys, I broke down again. So hang on.
Have you run out of fuel again?
No, but I've lost one of my my ramps on my truck. It's just come off. So this is good. Going well today.
Bless him if he's having a really bad day today.
It's all right. I don't charge anything extra for bad days.
So the plan is you go out with the Spark, 2 events, you pull up, your Spark is your trade stand, as it were.
Yeah.
So you're coming to one of our events, let's say. What happens at the event? How do you charge? Is it based on size, or how does it work?
Well, I do commissions. So, like, basically, I'm able to generally draw a vehicle in about an hour. Okay. So people can watch their car being done. They can film it. They can put it on socials. They can, it's all about that kind of interactivity and continue what I've been doing on IGTV, but live at events. So I live feed it via my phone. But then also they can watch their car being done, and either they can take it away with them there and then, or they can have it scanned so that it then is documented, and then we can do prints and copies and that kind of thing as well. I'm actually working with a local dealership here in Coventry, so they've supplied me with a van as well. So the van is going to be the merchandise wagon. So that's going to have prints, t-shirts, mugs, all that kind of stuff in the van. and then I draw in the car. So we've got the two vehicles will arrive. There's ramps on the top of this car which it sits on, so it sits slightly higher. And it's got like rally headlights on it, and I've done some other things to it because I can. Why not? Why not? Bit of fun.
That's been your lockdown build.
Well, yeah, it's just been ongoing. Like, it's just kind of you flick onto like Demon Twigs website, and you flick onto different things. You go, oh, actually, quite like some OZ racing wheels on this, or or whatever. So you kind of but no, it's been. I've also got a Vauxhall Chevette in build at the moment as well. So I'm rebuilding my uncle's 1977 Chevette, but kind of resto modding it. So it's going to have a Mazda MX-5 engine and gearbox, but it's also being lowered. It's going to be on split rims. It's going through paint right now. It's going to have like this real metallic, deep brown metallic paintwork done to it.
Yeah, because they had that light kind of brown metallic paintwork originally, didn't they? That was one of the original colours. I remember them.
Yeah, it was called Copperstone Starfire,
Wow.
which is basically metallic brown. But I've seen like the guys who are doing it. They build concept cars, so they're normally building for all the major OEMs.
Yeah.
But he's also Andy, who's the MD, one of the directors there. He's like super cool. He's got his own rest. I forgot what it is now. It's a Triumph. He calls it the Triumph Substandard. So it's like slightly hot rodded. It's got a real cool. It's got a real cool look to it, and it's got Kawasaki. It's got a Kawasaki engine actually. So it's in the right place to be rebuilt. So that's the ongoing project.
The ongoing project with the ship. I can't help myself call it the shove it, because back in the day, shove it. Because my friend used to break down with his all the time. And we were always shoving it, literally.
I call it the shove it Chevette. That's the hashtag for it. Shove it Chevette. So.
When do you expect it to be finished? Have you got yourself a target date? You need to have a target date with a project.
Ideally, like my uncle whose car it was. I mean, he is now like 80 something, 88, 85. Yeah, I'd love it to be able to drive it over to him and be like, look, I've made it. I've driven it back to you. There's no rust on it. It's been rebuilt. It's completely ground up rebuild. Because when I first got it, he was like, "You'll never, you don't know anybody who." He was like, "You're not mechanically minded." I was like, "I know I'm not, but I know people who are." Exactly. But with Chevettes, one, obviously they break down a lot with the original engine, but also they rust. All 70s cars are just they haven't got they weren't rust proofed or anything. So
the worst thing about the rust is when you see the car, you kind of don't see all the hidden rust. It's when you start taking it apart and you think you know what you're dealing with, it just gets worse and worse. When people say rust is like a cancer, it is for cars, because it literally can get in the places you don't want it to and ruins it.
Oh, it was like, the thing is that the guys who picked it up, they kind of picked it up and they're like, yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, all right. But we've seen worse. So I was like, well, I guess that's a good sign. You're saying you've seen worse. And then when I actually went up there and they gave it a proper inspection, and they kind of came to me with this box of like rattly bits, and they were like, well, this is what's come off so far. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, like the box was just like, half full of just, what was car. But at the same time, I'm glad I'm going through this process, because I'm at the right age to kind of go, okay, this isn't like, it's not like, it is like, there's money.
But it's the right
at the same
time to do it.
Hopefully that this is the only time it's going to be rebuilt. Like, it gets been rebuilt once, and it's done properly, it will last.
Exactly. You're future-proofing it, resto modding it, which means it's going to have better components than it did. Why the Mazda engine? Has that been done before? I'm not aware of it. So,
well, the Chevette is rear-wheel drive, so it's rear-wheel drive engine. Rear-wheel drive. So you could drop LS engines in. People drop Nissan R, whatever engines into them. So you see some, you see some on YouTube of like Chevettes that are smoking it sideways, because they've got like what I like about Mazda engine, Mazda bulletproof, absolute bulletproof. That the MX-5 Mark II, one you can turbocharge, supercharge if you want to. Yeah. So as a stock engine, it's a pretty solid engine to start from. The problem you've got is because of the original engine is only like 60 horsepower, say, whatever. If you obviously are putting more power through the rear axle, you then got to upgrade the rear axle, which is you put it onto a Manta axle,
right? Okay.
Which is what a lot of people do, because that's where you get the red top engines. So normally people put the red top engines straight into the Chevettes because they want to make it into a rally car, hatchback rally car. That's what they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to be honest, like the weight of it isn't going to be much anyway. I think a Mazda engine is enough. Yeah. Like it's enough for me to enjoy. And if I then want to do, go down to Forge Motorsport or go down to any of the tuners who have got parts for Mazdas, I can then, I can rework it and change it and update it and it can become a project. The main thing is get it on the road.
We took a Mazda MX-5 with a 1.8 engine. I think it was a Mark 2.5. We kept the bottom part of that as part of the MEV kit car, the Exo set. So we've got one of those. Literally half the weight of the car, kept the same drivetrain. We chose not to turbo or supercharge it at that point. Honestly, 4 track days has not missed a beat, and it's been savagely put under a lot of pressure, and it's been amazing. And like you say, that is a really good power output. If you put that into the shove it, it just feels wrong to say it publicly
honestly, I'm not offended. That's what I call it. It's literally like, that's all I've done. So I've just pushed it so far. I've not driven the bloody thing.
It's going to be double what it was before, and with everything else you're doing, it's going to be an awesome little shove it.
Yes, and it's saying like the plan is, is to drop it a little bit because they sit really high stock, so drop it a little bit, split rims. I've seen some Cortinas with like the back, how they have the back end, the rear window has like slats on it. So there's some stuff I've seen. I'm like, oh yeah, could do that. So I mean, it won't. People say to me, "Oh, why aren't you not making it back into original?" I'm like, there was no value in it going back to original because it's so rotten in the first place. Like the only value to me, I've got the shell. The shell is the car, and I'm putting my own spin on it. Like making it mine.
Ian, what was the original color called again? Moonstone.
Copperstone Starfire.
Right. So imagine 1977, someone's gone into the dealership and he's gone to spec out his brand new Vauxhall Chevette, which is being delivered in 1978, and he's asked for that color. Copperstone what?
Starfire. I've got but what I have, I've got a mock-up of what it could. Because I've seen that there's an Instagram feed called One Day One Car,
right?
Which is like, it is beautifully like how they complement brown. So I'll show you what the plan is.
So Sam, the project that Ian's working on with his Vauxhall Shove It, I reckon an Austin Allegro.
Oh mate, it's got to be a Vanden Palo with a chrome grille.
Yeah, but slam it, split rims. Well, air ride.
Here we go. Let's throw players out there, shall we?
If you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so killer cool.
So with the stripe as well.
Yes.
Love it. My favourite brown colour is a BMW Mini colour called Hot Chocolate. And it's like a dark brown, but in the sun it looks bronze. In the shadows it looks chocolate brown, and at night it looks piano black. It's amazing. That was the colour I did my 60 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Oh right, wow.
Very cool. But
you haven't got that one anymore.
No, I sold that because I was a broke ass.
Ian, so have you got a calendar?
I'm very much with.
Ah,
yeah, I can. Oh, am I here? Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Somebody's trying to ring me all of a sudden. Yeah, I can agree with the broadcast. Yeah, I when when they said how much paint's going to cost, I was like, how much? Huh? But no, it's going to be worth it. The guys who are doing, they're going to do a sterling job. Like the guy where it is now, they build show cars. Yeah, they build stuff for Geneva and whatnot. So it's definitely in the right place.
That's awesome, man.
Wicked,
Ian,
wicked.
thank you so much for like just sharing what you do with the world, man. It's just so cool. And first time I met you, I was sort of in awe of what you did. And then when I met you at the it was at the XL in London, and you brought me that print, I've still got that. It's on the wall in my boys' room because they love that car. I had to sell the Mini.
The job I love. Generally the automotive industry is. So I'm so passionate about, and I've met so many, so many nice people, much like both of yourselves.
Yeah.
And it's just been over the last year, via Instagram doing the continuous car drawings has just it's helped more than anything mentally, like having that engagement with people has just been great motivation, because it's just when you're so used to being out in front of people weekly, to not have that and it be kind of taken away from you, it's been great to engage with people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ian. And like I say, guys, go over to popbangcolour on Instagram. He is also on TikTok now as well. I've seen that. I'm not very good at TikTok, but I've got like 100.
Sam is a TikTok legend.
I am learning.
It's like learning French. So I was terrible at French, and I'm pretty rubbish at TikTok as well. So I'm much better at Instagram, and I'm all right at Facebook. So
cool.
But I'm learning. I'll learn it at some point.
But just literally search popbangcolour, and I guess it's going to come up straight away, because it's very unique. It's you, and it's what you do. So thank you, Ian. Really appreciate it, and I'll be following to see where you're going to be next.
Well, I think we'll have to sort out popping up to Sharnbrook and doing a couple of events up there for sure. So
yeah.
we'll
I'll be in touch. Definitely be in touch, mate. All right.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, man.
See you later, guys.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. What a totally nice guy. And wow, how unique is that? Popbangcolour.
Guy's a legend, mate.
Absolutely. And he's made some proper upgrades to the Chevrolet Spark. And that's his kind of like work vehicle.
I love that. Did you see my little TikTok video about my new Chevrolet the other day?
I haven't seen it yet because I've been on social media, but not been seeing other people. I've just been doing my own at the moment. It takes so much time, doesn't it?
Your life sort of gets absorbed, doesn't it, with the involvement of it all. It's quite hard, but we'll get there in the end, won't we?
Yeah, and some people don't realise you have to do it yourself. You can't employ someone to kind of translate what's in your mind into social media. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, spend an hour in bed before my alarm goes off, doing social media. My wife gets up about 6:30, so between 6:30 and 7:30, I'm doing social media. It's a full-time job. You're
bang on the money there. When I worked doing Hard Up Garage as my main sole responsibility, it's such a big responsibility to allow someone to take the reins in the space of your business. And when you've got a vision which you want to extend, that's impossible when you can't basically say this is what I want because it's all in here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that before. We've had companies take over or like agencies take, and it's hard because I've got a lad at the moment post a picture every night for me. He's 16. He's family, and he just wants to get that experience. And he's absolutely brilliant at what he's done for me. Absolutely brilliant. And I just still post some of the live stuff of what's going day to day. So Joe Kingman says, hey, some of us can help your vision come across on socials. And
have we got our next guest in the meeting room, Director Craig Lees?
So we've got Jesse Gonzales, is that right?
Yeah.
Coming in from Juarez.
He's from Juarez in Mexico.
And he sounds like a total legend in the car world.
Oh my God, he is, just...
Yeah, he sounds like a Mexican Richard Rawlins.
Well, he's so without... Richard Rawlins told me that he is a car guy but he's a businessman that happens to deal with cars, you know. So, but Jesse is, you cut him open and he's just horsepower. You know, he bleeds engine and brake fluid. You know, he is, and his work is second to none. You know, it really is. And you know, the Rolls Royce rat rod that we built for SEMA 2016, I say he built it, was just a showstopper. You know, it was unbelievable. Blew the doors off. You know.
So did you go over to Juarez to build that car, or finish the car, or whatever you did?
Oh yeah, I helped with a snag list on the last week. Yeah, me and my dad slept at the shop for a week, and we just grafted and finished the car off. And you know, I say we finished off. We did the little bits we can. He has a full crew of staff that actually built the car and finished the car, but we just helped with little bits as much as we can. You know.
What was Juarez like?
It's the most scary, awesome place in the world. Like, you know, like you've got this feeling in your chest that you're going to get murdered and stabbed and probably arrested, and then you have to pay some drug lord to let you out of jail. But realistically, people bring their kids up there, man. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like Jesse says to me, you know, he brings his kids up, he lets his kids play out, you know, whatever. If you're a bad person, you're going to find bad people. If you're a good guy, let's just hope the tables are turned and you'll be all right, you know?
Yeah. I guess that's like most of these places around the world. For the people that live there, it's normal life, and they don't see it from possibly where you live or where I live, a privileged kind of place to be living, but they don't see that because they're in it, and it's hard for people to move across from the different demographics and see the different places. I assume Jesse's not ready to join us yet. We're going to be looking around his shop in Juarez. Mate, did you see my fresh haircut?
Mate,
look how fresh that is.
Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, you've had one. No, you've gone long. You're getting longer and longer. Mine was done partly live on Facebook last night by my 12-year-old. Fourth time. Yeah, she's smashing it.
I need to have a man bun now, I think. Man bun territory. I've just messaged Jesse saying, are you in the meeting room? And Craig said that he's not in the meeting room.
Okay.
I'm just messaging now, so please join ASAP. Hopefully we'll get him in just a second.
Yeah, cool. While we do that, while we wait for that, we've dropped another 2 or 3 events in the last week. Last week, just before we went live, we dropped Calvin's Car Diary, the event, 27th of June, and that is selling tickets like hotcakes. People love Calvin. Calvin's got an amazing following. He's got some great friends in the industry like Ricky, Living Life Fast, who, congratulations, Ricky, just got himself a McLaren 720S, and it looks bonkers. So get over to Living Life Fast and check out that video on the YouTube channel. We're dropping, tomorrow night, we're dropping another YouTube video, which we've got so many to drop. Tomorrow night is how to ship my car. Now, obviously, if you want to ship a car from America, I just went through the whole process with the company Ship My Car about how to do it, and it's quite interesting. So we kind of simulated me bringing over a Corvette C8, which I'd love to do. What a dream! That video is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. This Sunday, we're dropping another video, which I can't actually remember what it is because there's so many, and we just filmed another video today. Also dropped yesterday Yakushi, which is our Japanese event on the 12th of June. And tonight I have a meeting with Tucked Automotive for Tucked on the Green. That's a massive automotive modified show. He's already got 1,100 cars registered for 600 show car places. How mad is that? That's what, as Ian was saying, people are raring to go. People want to get out. And the events that have done well in the past are just going to proliferate this year and do even better.
You know, it reminds me of, you know, back in the 1920s, the Great Depression. Yeah. And then if you think about it, then you had the booming 20s, where everyone went out and they wanted to just live. And I kind of think that, you know, history's going to rewrite itself here. I think we're going to be in exactly the same position. You know, it's going to be the booming 20s again. I have this feeling, you know? Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. So, have you sold many cars today?
I sold one today. It was good. I sold one yesterday, and I sold 4 on Monday, so 6, and it's only Wednesday.
And do you find that your Saturday is the biggest sales day, or is that changed now?
Well, this Saturday, not so much. But I sold 9 on Saturday once, which I was happy with. Saturday's my day. It's like my jam. You know, so Saturday is my day. But you know what, mate? I'm just taking every day as it is at the moment. I invested a lot of money on Auto Trader today. I've got 65 adverts live. So that's going really, really well. And I'm just looking forward to it, mate. Waiting for the boom. you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're doing the right thing, mate. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. Just seeing who's watching on the Facebook. Anthony Skipper's a regular on our show, watching our show. He's a really interesting guy. He's watching. Thanks for being a great fan and friend of Petrolheadonism. We heard from Jesse from Flores.
He's having some problems linking in here to the thing. I'm just going to send the meeting ID and password separately and see if he can get in that way.
Okay.
I've had it a few times where you go to join the app and it won't actually start the app, if that makes sense. You know,
no, that's right.
I've just sent him the meeting ID and passcode now, so hopefully he can do it manually. It's going to be quite a quick chat. If you have to go, that's fair enough, and I'll continue the chat before that.
Yeah, I've got about 10, 15 minutes, mate. It's fine. It's just we're open for takeaway and delivery now. We had a really good first 4 days last week. It's only Wednesday to Saturday. But pizzas are back on the menu here at Sharnbrook. And it's just going to go through this month doing that until we get to April the 12th, when we can start doing some outside stuff with customers in their cars.
When are hotels allowed to open again?
Sorry?
When's the hotel allowed to open? Do you have any idea?
Oh, it's a bit of a grey area, but possibly the 17th of May.
Wow.
So restaurants are allowed to open outside 12th of April, but hotels aren't allowed to have people staying in them. Because imagine if you've got someone staying in a hotel, they have to go outside to eat. So it doesn't work. But then before, they could have room service. There's a bit of a grey area at the minute.
So you can have people isolated for 10 days in a hotel room when they got off the plane, but you can't have people stay in a room, have room service delivered to their room and be confined to their room. Like, what's that about? Like, just...
Does it maybe mean that people from different households meet in hotels? I don't know. I don't know. I've struggled with all of it, mate. I don't want to get political on our channel. Samuel Ritson says hello. Hi, Samuel. Nice.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. And here we have Jesse.
Hey! How you doing?
He's connecting to the audio. There we go.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right. And you guys?
Wow, we're linking from the UK to Mexico with Mr. Jesse Gonzales. Wow, I've heard a lot about you. I've seen some of your work, and it's amazing. But Sam always speaks so highly about you.
Thank you, sir.
No worries. I was telling Chiro here about the amazing Rolls-Royce route rod, which put us all on the planet. Put your name and my name and Michael's name on the planet. And we were just saying about it wasn't us that built the car; it was you that built the car. And we came in at the last minute to help with the snag list with your staff, but that car was amazing. And we never really understood why it didn't go completely crazy, because that car it's had millions of views online, but I don't understand why people don't just send their cars to Juarez and get them built now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man, over there. I was hoping that we were gonna win. I was hoping that we were gonna end up in the first place in that rad rod build off, but who knows? You probably know better than me what happened. So
politics got in the way, and the guy that won, he died the year after, and let's say he went out on top. Whether we feel that we should have won or not, but
going to the United States and participating in an event like that, so that was probably more interesting than even the car build. The car build was a lot of work, but the fun part was that, to me. Yeah.
And so I was just trying to tell Chiro here. Chiro has got a meeting very shortly, so he's only got about 5-10 minutes. But I didn't know if you could just sum up, what you do. I basically expressed you as the chip boots of Mexico. The workmanship and the quality of builds you do is second to none. And you're in my opinion, the most dangerous town in the world. And I was just expressing that, we are very privileged to be where we are in the world, and sometimes we forget that.
Yeah. Well, I run a hot rod custom shop here in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, which is a border town to El Paso, Texas, which we're kind of like the border of, let's say, right on the edge, we're walking distance from the United States. So ultimately, that puts us as a border town that does a lot of business with the customers from the United States, from El Paso, from New York, from Arizona, from California. A lot of people come in. They actually have to cross the border, kind of like going from the United States into Canada. You know, it's not a common business or common. How can I put it? Something that people look for in Mexico. People come to Mexico more for tequila and stuff like that than building cars. But you know, we've been blessed with being here close to the border and having a lot of people like our work, man. And I believe they're coming in for the quality and the stuff that we do that they like, not so much the money savings, because it costs a lot of money, you know, to restore these cars and build them, and especially building them from scratch like we've done quite a few times, and restorations and stuff. So I want to believe that people come in because and travel long distances, you know, to bring the car in. You know, we just had a car come in from San Diego, California, and one from New York, man. We're that's across the country, man. You know, from end to end, you know, to come and bring it over, and just because the guy saw some videos on the YouTube and the websites and all that stuff. Nowadays, people find you. You know, they'll find you like a needle in a haystack. You know.
Yeah.
Could is there a chance, Jesse, you could pick up your phone and before Chiro has to go, just take him for a quick run around the shop to sort of blow his mind real quick?
Sure. Let me flip the camera over here. Let me see if I know how to work this. Excuse me this is the first time that I use this stuff, and
that's cool. That's cool.
I'm a little dinosaur.
My appointment just phoned, and they're about 15 minutes late ananyway, so I've got 15 minutes. So it'll be cool to have a look. Oh, there we go. Flipped it.
Okay. I'm gonna be walking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. This is awesome.
Okay. This is my office here in the entrance that we receive.
Cool.
So you walk in the door. I'm gonna start walking if you walk in the door, this is the main entrance. Okay. This is what you would see. This is our showroom where we have some of the cars on display.
That's 68 Mustang.
It's a 67 coupe.
Wow.
That we restored for a customer. He's waiting to come pick it up. It's been ready for the past few months, but he's an older gentleman, and he decided that he was going to wait a little bit to come pick it up until this situation with the COVID and all that stuff, you know, that's going on.
Cool. Yeah.
This is a 41 Willys coupe that we built. It's all built here in-house. It's a fiberglass replica that we've developed here. We're building the chassis and the frame, glass, door, upholstery, everything that it requires. We finished the car 100%. We try to keep everything in-house so we don't have to front any work to anywhere else, and we can be held responsible for the build from A to Z. So that's the thing. I went through the showroom outside. This is the main assembly area. This is where we do the final assembly, I call it, where we do the wirings and the upholstery and the glass and stuff. This is a car we did a rad rod build that we did a few months back. The guy blew up the engine, and we're also taking care of that for him again. This is another rad rod that Sam knows. He kind of worked on this when he was here a little bit. I don't know, you remember it, Sam?
I put some holes and the rim around the roof. I welded the rim around the roof to strengthen.
Yeah, it was a project back then. There's probably some pictures there on the Instagram. But this is what the final result of what it looks like. So
there's a picture somewhere with my name inside that door that I painted when no one was looking.
We did it kind of. It's actually a 1 ton truck. It's an international 48 international. We were kind of going rad rod at that time. You remember, Sam? We're gonna turn it into a rad rod, and we're gonna enter a rad rod competition over here in Mexico. That got canceled and all that, and then we ended up. I ended up selling it to a guy that came into the shop and wanted it, but he wanted it painted. So we actually spent a lot more time than we should have if we would have made it a rad rod, and we went all out and did the wood, did the glass, did the body work, paint work, custom work, and so to me it's kind of like a rad rod, a painted rad rod. Usually my rad rods I put them out there in bare metal, and so that's what we do. Real quick, some projects that we have there, the Scouts. This is a car we finished. Okay, we're going from the main. This is a final assembly area.
Cool.
That's our storage area for parts up there, and a couple of offices and more supplies. Our machine shop, and we're gonna go into the fab area. Okay, but it's a little loud. Hopefully you can hear me.
We
okay?
love to see
So we're here at the fab shop.
Yes.
You come here, and there's some guys working. So we do a lot of the Mustangs. We're doing a Eleanor build right now. Frame, chassis, everything, the metal work.
Jesse, I think
suspension.
you're going to lose your
all the steel kits, and we do a lot of the steel kit, that the Eleanor kits. Instead of the fiberglass, we use the steel. We also do them in fiberglass, but lately we've been having a lot of people asking for stuff like this. So there's our machine shop. This is another build that we're doing. This is a body swap.
Wow.
This is a 67 Mustang that we mounted to a 2010 Mustang. It's a GT 500 supercharged. I don't know if you can see the structure for the newer vehicle. We were able to fit it on here and modify it, and kind of run some scoops on it and stuff like that. So,
Jesse, while you're talking about these, while you're talking about these Eleanor builds, one of the other YouTubers, I think it was B is for Build, was doing something similar, and he had his car confiscated by Disney or some for legal matters because they called it Eleanor and they weren't allowed to. Do you know about that?
Yeah, from what I've heard, I believe the Eleanor name has been copyrighted. So somebody owns the name now. You can't use it anymore. We can call it Mary Lou, but we can't call it Eleanor anymore. Okay. Everybody calls it an Eleanor because of the movie. We're gonna have to start thinking of different names for our Mustang builds that look like the Eleanor, which is the movie car. In reality, we're gonna have to change the names because, like everything else, it's getting to the point where people are trying to own everything, man. They're trying to take the. You guys, I'm sure, have seen the latest trend nowadays. Seems like everybody wants to own everything. They're trying to take the name off the pancakes, off the chicken labels. Everybody wants to own stuff now, man. So that's really turning into shit, in my opinion, man. But we'll just have
behind
to
you,
live with it,
we just walked past a C of E.
Sorted out.
Chewy, you're starting to lose the internet a little bit further back in the shop here.
Look at that.
Super cool.
So cool. Was that a COE that we walked past earlier?
Yes, it was a COE, you lovely man.
There was another truck on the back of it, wasn't there?
That's it.
The COE is so big, it was facing that way, there's a truck on the back of it.
That's it. Chewy, I'm losing your internet here, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think you're losing your internet. I think you're going to have to go
What's
back.
that? I didn't hear you.
There you go. We're losing the
back.
internet here.
Okay.
Man, that is just
Still looks good though, whether he's losing internet or not, it looks amazing. What a workshop. So you worked here, did you?
Yeah, this shop was only half the size when I was there. So where that fire extinguisher was there, I believe there was a hole that went through the middle. And he looked like he extended the shop probably 2 or 3 times the size now.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Jesse back. Sorry, Jesse, we lost the internet there.
Okay.
So that's a COE just there, right in front of you. Yeah.
Fiberglass replica that we're building. Let me go into I can hardly hear you. Let me go into this other shop.
Yes, so COE stands for cab over engine.
Sorry, stands for?
Okay.
Cab over engine.
Sorry about
cab
that.
over
Can you hear
engine.
me a little bit better here?
That's better. We were losing the internet back then, Jesse. We couldn't hear you. I was just explaining to Chiro here asked if that was a COE, and I said it was, and I was just explaining what COE standing for.
Yes, it's a CO that we're gonna build for a guy.
Yeah.
The wheels just came in, so these are the wheels that we're gonna run in that.
Wow.
24-inch wheels, almost $8,000 worth of wheels. So it's gonna be a real high quality build. We're gonna build a frame, air ride suspension in it, and stuff. So it should be pretty interesting once we get working on it.
Yeah.
Wow. So
the COEs especially, they're becoming very rare to find them, to build them.
That's it.
Yeah.
But for anyone out there that wants to buy a car from America that you may feel you want it restored in the UK, or you may want to make it as a project yourself, you're thinking of having it built in the UK, just check out Street Toys MX, which is Street Toys Mexico on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and just check out this man's quality of workmanship. He keeps you updated throughout your build. If you want something crazy, I mean, this airbrush artist is amazing, and basically the only limitation you really have is your imagination at Jesse Shop,
and your wallet.
Your wallet.
Imagination and wallet. So Jesse, you going to be at SEMA this year?
I don't think this year we're gonna participate. I think we're gonna skip this year, maybe next year. This situation with this COVID really set us back in a lot of work. So we're really behind on a lot of projects. So I think we're gonna hit the work and postpone it for this year. Maybe next year we'll think about something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to ask you a couple of generic questions that I kind of asked some of our interviewees. Of the cars you've built for your customers, if you had the opportunity to buy one of them back because it was so special to you, which one would it be?
I don't know, man. That's a difficult question. It's kind of like I guess it would be the Viper Cuda that we did a few years ago. That was a vehicle that we did for a customer, and it was a real challenge for me. It took me almost 3 years to complete the build, and I spent a lot of time with that vehicle, and then I kind of got attached. More than anything, it's not even my favorite vehicle. It's kind of like the vehicle that made me struggle the most, at that time. So I value that now because I didn't realize how much time I had spent with that vehicle. I spent almost like spending time with somebody that's recovering from drugs or somebody that's recovering from alcohol or something like that, and that kind of sense, if it makes any sense to you.
Yeah, no, I get that absolutely, and it's that sentimental attachment that when it goes, it doesn't really go. It's always with you.
Yeah, that car made me suffer and struggle, and it was a challenge for me, and personally. So there was a point in it where I almost gave up and didn't know exactly what to do, and if it was even going to be something worth finishing, or just felt like throwing in the towel, man, because it was a lot of engineering challenges that had to be resolved, so
Cool.
that's probably why.
Can I find that car?
I'd love to be able to buy it and have it if I had the money to do it.
Amazing. So can I find that car if I search it on YouTube or the
Yes.
internet?
Yeah, there's videos on YouTube. We have a couple of videos on the YouTube and on the Instagram.
Cool.
On the Facebook. There's a lot of pictures of that. It went to SEMA actually.
Cool.
It went to SEMA in 2016, I think it was. So
I'll have a look at that one. That sounds amazing, especially when somebody such as Jesse has that attachment to that car. That speaks volumes, doesn't it, Sam?
That's like when the Rolls Royce went. I know the Rolls Royce was like sticking in your finger like a splinter for Jesse, because he invested so much time and money into that build, like me and Michael did. But overall, Jesse was the one that really put the effort in here. And when it sold and it didn't make a lot of money, it was a kick in the teeth, And when that car left and it rolled over that block, it was the most sickening, disgusting moment of my life. And you know, that is the one car that I'm going to get back one day. You know, that is my Mona Lisa that got away. You know?
Yeah. The for me, the Rolls Royce was a lot of work, but it was normal work. If you could understand what I'm trying to say, it was a normal work for me, a lot of it. But the other car was a challenge for me. You know, that's the difference for me in the two cars, and a lot more fun in the Rolls Royce too. So
Yeah.
the Rolls Royce was a lot of fun. It was a blast having Sam and his father over here, and going out having some drinks after busting ass all day, and then you know, being able to finally produce it and take it out there so people can look at it and take pictures. And a couple of famous people took pictures in the car, and Sam, well, you know the rest. You probably know more than me on that.
Oh my God! You know, we had like the Diesel brothers sit in the car. We had Richard Rawlins come look at the car. We had Chip Foods come look at the car. We had everyone. Gene Winfield got, like, I mean, Gene Winfield has now been to Jesse's shop, right? But Gene had his camera with him at SEMA, and basically his camera was in the bottom of his bag. It's his last thing he ever wants to do is get his freaking camera out. And Jesse got out, Gene Winfield's walking along, and his lady is with him, and he gets down on his knees and he's ruffling through his bag, and he's out taking photos of the Rolls Royce. And my heart stopped because I'm trying to tell Jesse just how fucking important that was, because that everyone in the world, you know, car builders that are still around, you know, Gene is known for being a very amazing artist and painted an amazing car in Jesse's shop. And for him to get on his knees and get his camera out and take photos, his lady said to me, "You do understand that Gene does not take photos at SEMA. Like, you know, he just walks around and signs shit. For him to get out and take the photos of that car, it had to be something special." And, you know, Julio was lucky enough, Jesse here was lucky enough to meet Gene and have him in the shop and paint the car in the shop. And, you know, for me, that was an honor, you know.
Yeah, it was a blast, man. It was a blast. Maybe we could do it again sometime.
Hell yeah, man. But when I start selling some cars and I'm not so fucking broke, we got a Juarez, Chiro.
Oh, definitely, man. Juarez has got my name all over it.
A couple of bottles of Don Julio with a straw.
When I've got a bit of suntan, everyone thinks I'm Mexican. I'm not Italian anymore. I'm Mexican. If I go over to Mexico on holiday, everyone speaks Mexican to me. I can kind of get by, but, you know, I'd love to come see what you've got set up. Just even the walkthrough of the workshop. For anybody who's just tuned in, watch back the video, because Jesse just walked us through the workshop, the fabrication area, and the cars that are stacked up, the builds. It's amazing.
That's it. And guys, if you want anything done, phone the guy. His website's there, his message is there. Call him, get the cars there, and get it done right. You know, you're getting American build quality in Juarez. I mean, this guy does everything perfectly, and, you know, if he hasn't got the right parts, he will build them. I mean, the stuff I've seen this man build is unbelievable. You just showed you that Willis behind, from nut and bolt, from the body to the brakes. Every part is built or, you know, sourced in shop and built. And there's honestly, like I said earlier, your imagination is the limitation, you know.
Jesse, another question for you. Another question before we go. So, yes. Modern cars. Everything I've seen in your workshop is 60s, 70s, muscle cars, Americana. Do you drive a modern car?
Yes, I do.
What do you honestly think of them?
I drive. No. I drive a little. Right now, I'm driving. I had a 55 sedan delivery, 55 Chevy sedan delivery that I built for myself, and I got rid of that a little while ago. So right now, I'm driving a modern car that the wife actually owns, and that's what I'm going around in. But hopefully, pretty soon, I'll build me a little cruise or something that I have here for the shop. I had previously, almost every year, I would build a car for myself. You know, I would make it a plan to build a car, and then I would sell it and then start another project. But lately, the workload has been overwhelmingly taken over, and I haven't really had any time to build something for myself. So that's kind of the good and the bad side. You know, a lot of work is good, but it's really taken me away from me actually having pleasure enjoying a car for me. I enjoy the cars that I built for my customers because I get to test them and drive them a couple of weeks after they're finished. But I don't have something personal for me right now at the moment. And I want to build a 32 now that we're making the fiberglass bodies, the replicas. I'll probably build me a Willys, and then I'll build me a 32 and drive them around a little bit and let them go, man. Let them go. I enjoy when people actually drive our vehicles. I think we're a shop that I don't want to be considered a show winner, a show 100-point car. I like to build cars that people can drive and enjoy, and actually you can actually see them on the road driving on the highway instead of cars that are hidden in garages and never get driven and never see the sun. I'm not into that. I'm more into drivers, so I concentrate my efforts on that, so people can actually see, especially the younger crowd. The younger people that have never seen a 29 Model A or in the form of a rad rod and stuff like that. They see that, and when you're on the street, people just look around it like it's some kind of a spaceship, man, because they've never seen that, man. And that's what I think is cool about the bringing back those old machines and making them run and making them run down the street and car shows and just run across these people that have no idea what it is, man. No idea.
Even more important, especially as they're trying to move us towards electric robot cars in 2030 over here in the UK and across they're pushing it all over the world. Even more important to make sure those older cars keep going and they keep making a presence on the road. It's what you do, Jesse, is phenomenal. And obviously the power of social media means that you're a global legend now, not just a legend in your area of Juarez and Mexico. You are well known all over the world for doing an amazing job on the cars.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's cool, man. What a guest. Another esteemed, brilliant legend on the show.
That's it. And thank you, Jesse, for taking your time this morning. I think it's probably 10:15 in the morning now in Juarez. So Jesse's sort of taking time out of his day for us. So we really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Jesse.
No problem, guys. Anytime,
take care, man. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You too, man. Take care of yourself.
Cheers. Take care. Wow, I need to go there. Like, I want to fly tomorrow and go there.
Okay. When we go to SEMA, right, we are going via Juarez because
we're kind of going via Juarez, we're going via California, we're going via Atlanta, we're going via Dallas, which needs to take like 6 months.
I know, but we need to do it. Like, the problem is, if we use the plane journeys to sleep, I think we're going to be all right.
Mate, it's been another great evening. I've got to go because I've got an appointment, and we're back making pizzas, and I've got people coming in to see me, mate. Looking forward to next week's show already, but tonight's been awesome. Ian, popbangcolour, Jesse from Juarez with his amazing shop. What's the shop called?
It's called Street Toys.
Speed Toys.
Street Toys.
Street Toys. Wicked. I'm going to check him out and have a look. Oh God, rat rods and hot rods. Want to do US road trip, laughing out loud. Samuel, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Yes, personally hate the Tesla. They're just too basic for my liking. They're droids. They're droids. They're robot cars.
Yeah, true that. But you know what, man? I wouldn't mind one Monday. My pockets ain't deep enough, cuz.
We need to hot rod a Tesla.
Oh yeah, baby.
It'll still look like a droid. Right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm off. Sam, lovely to see you. I'll speak to you later. Thanks, Craig, our producer. Another seamless show.
Oh yeah, goodbye now.
Still here. Oh, I'm still here.
It's the same power to weight ratio as a Ferrari 488.
Where's mine?
Champion signing off. You've been tuned in to